Yo! We're back with another episode of Chaz and Friends. The wrestling world is changing fast, and tonight we're calling out on all different angles, from YouTube fame to WrestleMania moments. Influencer turned wrestlers like Logan Paul and recently Mariah May, who just signed with NXT, are forcing us to ask, are they building the business or are they just cashing in on the hype? Next on the docket, we're gonna head on over to Texas, where AEW is giving one of wrestling's greatest rivalries of this generation: Kenny Omega versus Okada. Again, is this another instant classic in their historic rivalry, or is this just another case of AEW playing the hits too many times? And finally, what everybody wants to talk about, R-Truth, who was fired and now he was rehired, or maybe he was never fired at all. Was his return one of the biggest works in recent memory, or are fans just been worked into a frenzy? This is Chaz and Friends, where debates are settled and the temps are checked. Okay. Holla at your boy!
The following program is a collection of idiots talking about happenings in the sports entertainment world. It is meant to be comedically informative. The opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their bosses, platform, or whatever network they are on. There may be some out-of-pocket things said on this show, because this is how we talk to each other. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further. Your homies. The 3 Count Podcast. P.S. Please do not sue us.
It's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Don, Chaz Evans. You're checking out the hottest podcast in the world, the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row, crowd already know how I fly him to the flow like. Hit him with a 3 count. And your boy real
Yo, it's your boy, your cousin, your nephew. It's the Capital Region's best kept secret, and the Don of the Mid-Atlantic, and the host of the hottest debate wrestling podcast. I'm Chaz Evans. Welcome to Chaz and Friends. Let me introduce to you my friend who's going one-on-one with me tonight in this debate. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the man that runs this show. He's the man that really does everything, from producing, from interviewing. He's the man. He is the 3 Count Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the current reigning and defending SWA. Psych. He is your current reigning and defending HWF Extreme Champion. He's also your current reigning and defending Infinite Plus Network Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, he is my friend. He's your friend. He's my dog. He's your dog. He's everybody's friendly neighborhood Red Dog.
That's right. It's the Air Force Veteran Intel Specialist, the one you call on when you need to get a job done, and your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. Also, for those who are trying to view us on Facebook, you're not going to, because Facebook has some kind of disconnection error. So you're going to see us on YouTube, Twitch, X. So enjoy us there. Talk to us there. But also joining Chaz in the Inner Circle T-shirt gang.
That's funny because we didn't plan this.
No. So you 100% had your shirt on. I was like, I'm gonna go put my shirt on too. Because when I started this, I had the Red Hood shirt, and I was like, nah, bro, we're gonna change it.
That's funny. It's because I put this on. I was like, you know what? I haven't worn this in a minute. This was the very first AEW shirt that I purchased from them. Because then afterwards, I bought wait, no, this is not the first shirt. I'm a liar. I bought Cody's shirt.
Oh yeah, you had the.
Yeah, I bought Cody's shirt at the venue because I was at the first Dynamite. Yeah, no, I'm a liar. Sorry guys, I was about to lie to you. Anyway, I just was like, I haven't worn this in a while, and this is when the Inner Circle was cool before Jericho got stupid. So yeah, boom, Inner Circle.
Team Inner Circle.
Now point to all these guys and who won a world title.
Yep. That one.
Oh man, if only, if only. All right, thank you for checking us out. Sorry for my Facebook viewers who are probably turning over to YouTube or turning over to X or Twitch, and they're probably like, why can't I watch you on my book face? Well, sorry, I can't help that. But my podcast listeners, my audio listeners, shout out to you. Make sure you give us a 5-star frog splash review wherever you're watching us at. Whether it's Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, podcast.com, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for continuously listening to us over the past 5 years. We definitely do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, hit that like button. Also, hit the bell button. There's a little bell that you hit. Make sure you click that. I noticed that it doesn't automatically click anymore like it used to do when you subscribe to somebody. So when you subscribe, make sure you click that bell button so you get a notification when we drop content, because we drop a lot of content and a lot of wrestling news, and we don't want you to miss that. So definitely hit that bell button. Uh, Follow us on all your favorite social media platforms at 3Count Pod. It's on everything except for the Bird or the X app. That is 3Count Pod _. I'm trying to think, make sure we got all my stuff. All right, cool. Cliff, what we got coming up on now? Winter in the Ring.
Yeah, so we got some great stuff coming up on Now Entering. You guys didn't check out the last couple episodes. We had Keith Youngblood, and then after that we had Trey DeRula. So that was kind of fun. Him and I had a great conversation. If you didn't check out the episode, it did drop. I did drop it on Spotify, but I forgot to hit the button to make it go live on. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure somebody else. I'm not gonna say who. I'm not gonna drop names, but I think they went in there and then accidentally made it private and then forgot to change it back to drop at noon on Saturday for YouTube. So I had to drop it today. So you guys will notice that on Sunday you got an episode of Now Entering the Ring right before this show dropped. So there's that. Today though, or this week though, I just want to look. I forgot. I got to double check really quick. I'm pretty sure it's Kurt Blair's episode is dropping. Yeah, the debonair Kurt Blair, the man who kicked me in the back of the head at SWA, cost me a chance at the Crowns Championship. Even though I had to be professional, hold it together. We had a conversation. It was what it was. Fuck that guy.
Well, since you mentioned SWA, before we dive in, I want to give a huge shout out to our partners over there at SWA. If you haven't seen what they're doing, you're definitely missing out. This Saturday, they have a show coming up called Say When. Your boys right here on the show will be involved in that show. I'm having a birthday party, pure ignorance celebration in the ring. I'm inviting everyone who's watching to come to SWA and to join me in my birthday / pure ignorance 5 year of dominant celebration. Um, yeah. I also realized and got a word that somebody else is also coming to this celebration, and I not sure how I feel about that. Um, but yeah, shout out to SWA. Say When, that's coming this Saturday, Shady Grove, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area, definitely be there. SWA for the past, really the past 2.5 years has been cooking each and every show that they put out, and they don't put a lot of show out. Quality over quantity, folks. But seriously, these guys, SWA as a whole, definitely putting out good stuff. Follow them on their YouTube channel. Follow them on all their social media platforms, so you can definitely be in the SWA loop.
Yeah, agreed.
Temp check.
Temp check. All right, hold up a second. I forgot layers. Right there. This button. Temp check.
All right, temp check. So we're gonna do temp check, and then we're gonna go right into Damien's dumbass of the week. So
Yeah.
temp check, that's where me and my friends, we give you our hottest and our coldest wrestlers going into the week. A lot of crazy stuff going on in wrestling. A lot of big matches announced. Let's see what's going. Let's see what the temperature's like. All right, temp check. Hottest wrestler. My hottest wrestler of this week, Ron Killings. My coldest wrestler of the week, for the first time in his career, he's getting this award. John Cena is my coldest wrestler of the week. Maybe, and I'll give an explanation. If it's I don't know if wrestling heel John Cena in 2025 works for me. I don't, me personally, or maybe it's just my perception of John Cena. I don't think John Cena in this day and age would sit there and argue with Logan Paul outside of the ring to let Jey Uso crawl his way for the hot tag. That's just me. That's just me. But yeah, yeah. John's my coldest wrestler of the week, and it sucks because I've been loving everything that John's doing. You get nothing, and he's been giving you nothing. My match of the week, though, it's hard. It's hard not to pick one of the Money in the Bank ladder matches because I think the men's Money in the Bank match was superb, even with the Jacob turn. Excuse me. But I really, 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 really enjoyed Bird Lady and Becky. Like,
Bird Lady and Becky. You better not disrespect that woman's name.
I've been calling her Bird Lady for what? As long as she came out with the wings. That's Bird Lady to me. But I enjoyed that match. Yeah, Lyra and Becky definitely tore the house down. I was very skeptical. I said it 2 weeks ago. Was like, why are we doing this again? We literally just did this last week. And kudos to Becky. I know Becky gets a lot of criticism nowadays, but credit to Becky because Becky knows how to change the matchup. She's very well at making sure, even though you're doing the same match, to make it different and still make it entertaining. So I'm gonna have to give props to Becky and Lyra as my match of the week. But my 1B would be the men's Money in the Bank match. Just all of it. I don't like the winner, but everything up to the winner was phenomenal.
Okay. Okay. Uh, you know what? I will take the other person. For coldest wrestler of the week, I'll take the other person in that match. In that tag match, in that heels. Even though he had a lot of cool spots, it was just like I know it was very bland to me. So at the end of the day, but Logan Paul is gonna get my coldest wrestler of the week. Um, it just I don't know. It was weird. It just didn't hit for me. I was not there for it. My match of the week, man. I'm gonna be fair with you, bruh. Worlds Collide. Chad Gable and Vikingo was on point. So if you guys didn't get a chance to watch it, should have gone on YouTube. You can watch it now. That match was crazy, amazing, great storytelling, a lot of fire to it. Chad Gable and El Hijo de Vikingo just tore the house down. So that's gonna be my 1A. My 1B, I would also agree. Becky and Lyra is a good pick as well. Um, my hottest wrestler of the week. While I would agree with you, Ron Killings would be my pick. I'm gonna go with somebody else in a different direction, in a different company that made their return. And I don't want to say just they, but they made their return. And the talent and the competition is higher, so we're built to inspire and give it up for inspiration.
I knew this where you were going. Once you said they made their kind of either. I thought about first. I thought you were saying first class. I thought you were gonna go what you call it. Dala, AJ Francis coming back NXT.
No.
But you did that. I was like, oh wait,
Yep.
inspiration. Yeah,
Yep.
that was hot though. I ain't gonna lie. I was shocked. I was like, oh, good to see y'all. Where you been?
3 years. 3 years gone for 3 years. Now they're back. So I'm very excited to see Cassie and Jessica back in wrestling. And they look good too. They've been putting in work, so you can tell. And I just can't wait to see the work they put in at Flatback. So from Flatback. So big shout out to them. I'm very happy to see them back in the Impact and the TNA zone. Mm-hmm. So let's get to it because I can't wait to see this tag match.
All right, let's get to it.
The comments
of the week.
You want to do comments or you want to do dumbass of the week?
Nah, let's get the dumbasses out the week. We'll go to comments after.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
It's Damien's Dumb Ass of the Week.
Off rip, he's not here. So Damien is up for nomination. And
Okay.
because Twitch is not here either, he is up for nomination.
He's up for nomination too.
Now, if Twitch shows up before I hit post, he can be taken off.
Okay.
But as of right now, we have 2 spots remaining.
Okay.
I want to put up there. I want to put up the IWC because of the discourse that's been going on all day today. The discourse, I won't get too into it because I'd rather her not get it for crazy racist comments. But shout out to Lovely. Yeah, I did it anyway. Yeah, we did that. We got a black man's job back. And I specifically say black man, and I will continue to say black man, and I will acknowledge what the man identified as, even though when we bring up what we identify as, it's like a bad thing and it gets everybody in a whole uproar. But regardless of that, our truth has a job again because all of us, whether you want to believe it's a work or not, we'll get into that next. But I want to put the IWC because something positive, you just turn and just stop on it. Just stop on it. So the IWC for me is my matches of the week because we supposed to be like, yeah, he's back. Everyone's like, well, why did you have to? Why did you have to bring it right into it? He's a great guy. We all love him. So what? Okay, that's not what's up. Anyway, but yeah, that's mine.
It's yours. The
Yeah.
minority IWC.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's gonna be just TKO.
That was my second one.
I'm going with TKO. That's who I'm gonna take.
All right.
That's ridiculous. Like whether it's a work or not, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care either. I just like at the end of the day, like if stories are to believed, which we know in the wrestling community, like believe none of what you hear and only a third of what you see.
Uh-huh.
They had to make a call to get this man back, and he wasn't answering to nobody until Khan called him. So it is what it is. Like, all right. But I do appreciate the fact that he asked to get his name changed to Ron Killing so that it's established on TV.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that. So yeah, TKO.
All right. Go to the comments, see what they say. Who should be? We might change one.
All right, here we go.
Let's see what they say.
It says, gentlemen, according to Facebook, they got a virus. What's up, Chaz and only Chaz? If I was speaking to that dog over there, I would compliment how nice his lined up and lined up his beard is looking. But yeah, F that guy. Wish you would have kicked you harder. Damn, it's crazy. I would never wish that on you. It's like coldest LA night, hottest
we gonna get into that. We gonna get into that.
Sounds like a disco band. Match of the week when the Worlds Collide show. I really enjoyed it. I will agree. I like that show a lot too. Clearly, Mr. Iguana was the most over person because that's
and then
everybody was talking about.
But all the Mexican fans hate him. That's how I was reading that. We went live reading that out.
That's
we
crazy.
love him, and he just got over. It's so crazy, but over there, it's the comparison is how the IWC feels about Jey Uso. How Jey Uso is just all flash, no substance. That's what they say about him. And I was like, Well, then that means I love him. Cause like what?
Yeah, well, so I was watching it live. I'll share this with you. I was watching it live with Kira, and I was like, "Yo, look at this dude. He's got an iguana," and I clearly knew it was a puppet, but I was like, "He got a dead iguana with him," and he flipped the iguana and it landed on his shoulder, and I was like, "All right, he's kind of cool." And Kira was like, "He got an aura of 1,000 for that." It was like facts. I can't even argue with that. Uh, it was pitchy dog. Uh, my coldest is having to be on Twitter versus this on Facebook. Ill. Could always. I sent you the link to YouTube. You can do it there. I purposely went on my way to send it to you. Could have just ignored you like I should have. Uh, I'm happy the inspection. No, inspiration. That's who that is back in wrestling too. Uh, here we were looking for smoke. I chose Chaz for choosing Damien and
Overruled.
my vote for dumbass of the week is triple nose for lying about Truth's release. I can believe. You don't think the whole thing was a work? I don't think so. Our Truth got fired, but now killings. No. Nominate Trips for his reaction to the truth question. It was weird that he kind of like, that's an excellent question. Did you enjoy the show? Sidestepped it. Like, dog, I would have been like, yeah, but I enjoyed the show, but here's my question. Answer. He's 53. He's done everything in WWE. If the fans had reacted to R-Truth when he was wrestling like they did when he got fired, it would have never happened. That's not true because when he was with it, like there's multiple times where you can see Truth getting over without having to get fired. Right? We can point to the mixed tag matches, right, with Carmella, the 24/7 stuff, right, Judgment Day, right. Before that, when he was doing when he was with Road Dogg, right, when they were running around doing the things, K Quick. So there's been numerous times where R-Truth is over, and those are just a handful that I could think about off the top of my head. But when he turned heel and he was beating up John Morrison and smoked that cigarette in his face, and the crowd booed the shit out of him. Like there's tons of times. Little Jimmy was over, right? Like R-Truth got so much stuff over. And
Our
then like,
truth, our truth got the Judgment Day over.
he got the Judgment Day over.
And the Judgment Day when Edge left, when it was just Finn, Damian, Rhea, and Dom.
But here's the okay. So you're proving my point, Mr. Golden. Like you're proving my point right here. That was 5 years ago. Thank you. The fans were behind him then. Other than a Judgment Day, fans were behind him there. Little Jimmy was 10 years ago. Fans were behind him then. Road Dogg and K Quick. That was almost what was that? Almost 20 years
Yeah,
ago. Over
that
then.
was funny.
Was it the Awesome Truth? Like that was another thing that was over. Like, yo, like R-Truth has had strong support all the time. That's why fans were pissed. It's not that the fans were pissed at like, oh, R-Truth. Because if that was the case, we would have been pissed when oh Jesus. Well, Otis's tag partner, Tucker, when Tucker got cut. We weren't pissed when Tucker got cut. We're kind of like, man, all right, what's Otis gonna do now? Like that was kind of our reactions to it. Like that's why the R-Truth or Ron Killings, however you want to look at it, it's just it's a different beast in itself because that man, everything they gave him was just junk, and he got everything over. Fans like that whole 24/7 I-95 South Atlanta Intercontinental European Champion thing. Like, yo, we were like all loving the fact that was happening. So I'm like, there's so many memories you can have of R-Truth that you're like the spiders, there better not be a single spider on this ladder because I suffer from arachnophobia. Like there's so much. The ladder match with the Royal Rumble where he ran it with the ladder when he announced the wrong city. he was in Cleveland and he was like, "What's up, Cincinnati?" And they're like, "You're in Cleveland, you idiot." Like, there's so much stuff that I can like listen. I'm just rattling stuff off the top of the brain about stuff that R-Truth's done that the fans have just thoroughly enjoyed. And it's like so to, he's been way over. It's just he's not like he's the guy that you need steadily in the roster because when you either need someone to get over or you need someone that can
Get
you know
somebody over.
you someone that's over and so that could get somebody else over. That's who you rely on is someone like Truth, and he does that well. So it's just I don't know. It's funny to me that like we're like we didn't like R-Truth. We loved R-Truth. We love Ron Killings. Like now they're gonna have to acknowledge that Ron Killings was what you call an NWA champion, a two-time NWA champion. Like they're gonna have to acknowledge that now because it's Ron Killings, it's not R-Truth. So you know,
We're on the topic of R-Truth, so let's keep the conversation going. So, R-Truth fired or rehired or just Twitter fiction? Look, is it a work or is it not? That's the question. All right, we're debating whether or not was this a work. So did WWE work the fans or did social media invent a storyline? Okay, now I'll start this one off. Now I don't think it was a work. All right. Now initially first thought, yes, when it first happened, my instant reaction was, oh damn, they really got us. But come to think about it and really looking at the facts of the matter is then looking how Truth is responding to things online, this is not work. Is they and when you look at the facts are really this. They were budget cutting. They were. TKO it was trying to slim down on what they were spending. R-Truth wanted a they offered him a low ball contract. That's why he didn't get rehired. Okay, oh well, not rehired. That's why his contract was let go or not re-signed. It expired. His contract expired. That's a fact. And the way that they did it, and the way how everything happened, it's not. This is not a work. He announced it himself. This was not no. Okay, we released. No news outlet broke this story. He broke the story by announcing that he decided his contract was not renewed. The fact then the reports are coming out. He had a low ball offer he didn't sign. We Want Truth happened. Cliff put in the group chat yesterday on the Win Worlds Collide chat. They were blowing up the Win Worlds Collide chat with We Want Truth. They were chanting that even at other shows. We Want Truth. You could hear it a little bit on at the TNA show on Thursday. If you really watch, if you really watch and really listen, you can hear a budding "We Want Truth" chants. So it WWE realized real quick that they had a bottom dollar, and they realized that oh no, we just let go a guy that really prints out money for us. Like he prints out money for us. That's what R-Truth does. Period. He moves money for them. Like that's what that R-Truth character is. He's walking money. The deal did not get settled until about 2 days ago. So Friday around is when they finally had a deal settled. This not work. As much as wrestling fans, we want to believe that everything like the E is so perfect with their storytelling. No, this is a bad PR nightmare that they tried to figure it out and to put a huge ass band-aid on. Because back to back PR nightmares because they knew they were announcing WrestleMania back in Vegas tonight, Money in the Bank officially. We already knew that was going to happen, but they were going to officially announce it, so we know backlash was going to happen for that. Now you want to announce that on top of the fact that we already got backlash from firing Truth. No, they're not idiots. TKO are not idiots. They're $1 billion company for a reason. Okay, they're for a reason. They know that losing R-Truth and then having that backlash of WrestleMania come back on them back to back, it would make them suffer not only financially but also their momentum with the fans are already on a bad track record. No, this was not a work. Okay, I love the discourse though, and they love the discourse. It gets them talking, but no, this is not a work. Sorry, this is just a company, doing damage control. No pun intended when I said that. But yeah, no, not a work. Can't hear you. Yeah, we lost Cliff.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you. Yeah.
Okay. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's not a work. It's really not. Um, I think when WWE looked at it, they were trying to figure out which characters they could just kind of get rid of, and like nobody would just like throw a hassle, a fit about. And instead, they got caught. They got caught putting their hand in the cookie jar and taking one that they shouldn't have taken. Right. So Truth, again, as we've been saying, is like a beloved, like he's a beloved gem. Like people like him. They want him everywhere. So I don't understand like why they decided to, especially for a company that just announced recently that they're $3 billion in the hole, and talk about Endeavor, like the company that owns TKO, who
Yeah.
owns the WWE, company that just announced that they're $3 billion in the hole. Like, yeah, I would think that you're going to do whatever you can to retain the crowd, the fans, and keep them coming. You didn't think that R-Truth was like a well loved person. That's a big issue. That means you're not listening to the fans. Because if you're just like, well, they'll get over it, they'll go with this one. But they didn't. They didn't go with that one. And they told you that they weren't going to go with that one. So you guys really, to say it like this, you guys really screwed the pooch on it. Like, it's fucking crazy that you would think that you could just get away with not talking about R-Truth and just like letting him go. Because if you notice too, the funny part about this whole thing, no one's talking about Carlito.
Mhm.
No one's talking about Carlito. And it's not like they were upset, right? They were mad. R-Truth was the guy. It was all about Truth. Like, no, I don't want to talk down about Carlito. I love Carlito. He had a nice little run while he was in WWE, but they really didn't have a place for him. Like, Truth was the guy that the crowd genuinely wanted to get behind, and that's what you get from real fans really enjoying a character or really enjoying a person. And it just wait, man. Like, what would have been like if you would have gotten rid of like Roman Reigns or like, I don't know, Seth, right? The fans would have blown you, like, not saying they would have done it physically. They would have just blown up
Mhm.
all of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything. They would have let y'all know, because I'm sure this wasn't like a thing. I'm sure if I go back and watch Dynamite, I'm probably hearing the crowd chant out "We want truth." And at that show, I didn't watch Dynamite this week. My apologies, AEW fans. I know, but I'm sure in the background you're probably hearing somebody somewhere saying "We want truth," and then TNA has a thing going on, and then WWE was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? We didn't think this out. He could possibly go somewhere else," and that money make that we have is suddenly over there turning heads. And I'm not saying R-Truth is going to be the biggest needle maker mover, right? But something that Twitch had brought up was all of a sudden, like behind the scenes, there's R-Truth at like AEW, confused and just like, yo, where you been, dog? Like, just playing the same role and like at AEW, and now you're just like, you're watching fans kind of drift over there because there's R-Truth talking to Bobby Lashley or talking to Shelton or MVP or Big Show, or he's having all these jokes, inside jokes with them. Like, so you're essentially just kind of putting one in your foot.
Yeah.
And it was monumental that WWE re-signed R-Truth because the fans told you what they wanted and you weren't listening. And I think, whatever you want to believe, like behind the scenes, like Trips kind of being upset that the fans kind of took over the show. You have to remember that at the end of the day, you have stockholders, And if people are pissed, they're gonna let the stockholders know, and then the stockholders are gonna let you know about how they're feeling about it, and that you should be making the move. So this truly, really feels like it's become a product of the people, just for truth, this for truth's sake. But I can't wait till the day where someone like The Miz or, God forbid, Bailey gets cut.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just think about it. I mean, they were how people were getting all flustered over the just, and they were finding things and making things and just making stuff up. There was reports, like not reports, but people were trying to were saying that, well, Miz is next because Miz didn't have anything WWE related in his bio, but Miz never had anything WWE in his bio to begin with. So it really had people on pins and needles. And this is why I feel like it wasn't a work, because there are so many backstage people and personal. His own son, his own son was on Instagram, commented on Triple H's answer, talking about stop the cat, which is, for my friends who don't know, stop lying. So this is not a work. I WWE was wrong. They messed up. Like the perfect company. Well, they were wrong. They messed up and they screwed up. This is not no perfect story, not long term storytelling. It's not. It's they're cleaning up their doo doo. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
they they
yeah,
they they foobarred all this up, and they're
yeah,
like, "Oh damn, we got to make this up." And then what I do love is the fact that Ron Killings comes out and attacks John Cena, and he's got the title in his hand as he slides out the ring. So maybe we're gonna get something a little bit more serious with Arch with Killings, but I also kind of want the fun R-Truth. So we'll see what happens, because there is a lot of rumors that they're trying to turn it to a more serious product versus like having any kind of comedy on there. So
yeah.
we
All
shall
right,
see.
let's see what the comments. What the fuck? What everybody talking?
All right. But not as much now. So let's go here. My point being that he's not over as my point being that he's not as over as he was then. He is very much still over, as much, if not more, than. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, but I don't know what else he could do in WWE. He could win the championship. I mean, he accidentally won the WWE United States Heavyweight title. The WWE is already saturated with older guys with no chance of winning a title. I mean, did you feel the same way about Santino? No, and I'll tell you why. It was a different age for me. I was wrapped up in Santino, but I didn't really understand the gravity of what it was being like to see someone like Santino get let go. But when he showed up at TNA, you better believe like I was super excited to see Santino Marella back in wrestling. So, how'd you feel about it?
With Santino,
Yeah.
likewise. It sucked. I would say that was what I'm thinking. When did Santino get let go? That was, I don't know if I was in black college. I think
Yeah.
no. He was still there. Was he there with AJ? When AJ Styles debut?
No,
No, he was gone then.
I think he was gone then, because I think he was like towards the end of his run with that before
Yeah,
eight.
but likewise, it was sad because like Santino was funny and I liked the Santino character. I mean, nothing beats the Cobra. Like,
He got a
but
man
I was
fired
nothing.
from
But yeah,
WWE for the Cobra.
yeah. I,
Like, I think people forget that. I think people forgot that JTG got fired from WWE for overselling the Cobra. Like, yo, that was a thing. That's what led to him getting released. Also, and when it comes to Santino too, like there's a lot of memorable moments that I could think of, especially with Santino trying to do Melina's entrance and then like hurting himself. I could think of things for days. The Slammies, facts. Art, Red Dog never looks better. Is that when I got frozen? I got
yeah,
sick of these people.
probably.
Blame it because he cost the WWE a lot of money, went to Australia instead of Austria. This is true. This is very true. Ray Truth, Orton, Sheamus, Cena need to step aside for the younger stars. I 100% agree. But in that aspect, though, when it comes to someone like Truth, you're gonna need guys like Orton, Truth, and Ray to be among those guys. And Sheamus, you're gonna need those leaders and those older veterans in the locker room to help mature up the talent, and that's who I think is. Those roles are perfect for those guys. Cena, I mean, Cena's on his last run, so we already know that.
Right.
Hey, what up?
Wait, go back.
Yep.
That's the human tornado.
What's up?
The human tornado watching my show. Oh shit.
I knew you were gonna pop for us. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that shit's hard.
You're comparing R-Truth to Seth and Roman, really? Well, I mean, yeah, I am. I mean, the longevity of R-Truth's career is ridiculous, and the fact that, as I said, R-Truth is still a 2-time NWA heavyweight champion. Like, do not dismiss that. Going down some more. Sorry, we have a bunch of them actually.
That's okay. You know,
I'm sure Damien watched AEW. I'm sure he did. Save your company $5 million by getting rid of those veterans with no value, including Natalia. First of all, fire Natalia, hire Natty.
Yeah, here you go.
People like to start shit on social media, no matter who. Facts. So is it really about R-Truth, or was it something to bitch about? I don't know. I think it was really about Truth. Like, I think Hunter was just trying to cut costs, and they made a bad move. So Truth has a flat out said it wasn't a work. His son posted on Stop the Cap to Trips from the press conference statement. Yep. They could trim the budget in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like Roman's $15 million contract.
That man, hey, they signed $1 billion deals under that guy. He can say what he wants. WWE has pulled the curtain back so far. It's impossible to lie like that.
That's the
Why?
That's the kicker.
He hated
That's
John
the kicker.
Cena.
We had
The Cobra versus the Iguana.
Cobra
Book
versus
it
the
now.
Iguana. No.
Yes, 100%. I want that now. Well, that's what Seth, etc. are for. True, but even those guys need guys like Truth and Ray. Those guys are gonna need guys to help them. So he's a two-time champ. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's the NWA title. It's one of the oldest wrestling titles in the United States, like in America. Like, this man is also a champion for that. Chaz Pop was everything just now. Will never top Cobra versus Sako. This is true. I also agree with that.
Back. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Let's get. This should be fun. This should be a fun one. I'm gonna actually kind of see your take on this one, Cliff. All right, influencers in wrestling, help or harm? So, with the recent rise of the social media influencer era of entertainment, names like Logan Paul, even Mariah May, crazy enough, was originally a social media influencer before she became a wrestler, before she got trained. So, are influencer wrestlers bringing new, fresh energy, or are they taking spots from real pros who paid their dues? So, there are a lot of other social media influencers. Chris Danger he's an independent wrestler who is a social influencer. He's gotten famous off his WWE 2K videos. He just now become a wrestler. I think within the past 2 years. So, what do you think, Cliff? Are they doing harm or are they helping?
I think they're helping. I don't know. Like, it's weird because I don't see. Okay, so I understand Logan Paul. Okay, I understand the idea. He's an influencer, and then he got into the business, and like now he's like putting all this work. Mariah May, I don't agree with though. As far as the influence goes, she was just like a model just for like WWE shop. Like, that was it. Like, that it doesn't compute my brain because like she was there under a different profession. So she's not influenced, she's just modeling their stuff. Like, what like that. That's it's a weird concept to me to think that like we would now consider that influencers. I'm thinking like if someone like Call Me Chris or even the girl that does Call Me Daddy, Joe Rogan, like Andrew
Brandon
Schultz.
Davis.
What's that?
Brandon Davis, the guy from comic book.
Yeah, there's another one. I'm
Because
thinking like those
he,
those
let's say he wrestles. He's wrestling too.
yeah. I'm thinking those guys are influencers because they don't have anything to do with the business. But if they got into the business, then at that point I would agree, like, all right, maybe there might be something there, there might be some harm there. But yeah, Mr. Golden saying a hawk to a girl. Yeah, if she got into the business, like I would also like
Talk to a girl.
that's what I'm saying. Like those people, right? Like those are influencers that I would say, like, yeah, they're bringing their audience over and their influence audiences to check out stuff. Mariah May was just a model. That's all she did. She just modeled stuff. Like I just don't understand. Like then she got bit by the bug. Then she went and got trained, and then she worked her way up through the indies. And it. So what if it only took her a couple years to get to? She went to Stardom, and then she went to AEW, and now she's in the E. Like, I don't agree with the idea that everybody who all of a sudden came outside of the business and is now in is like you're an influencer now. Like, I don't get it. Like, you just brought up what was the
But
boy's
she was
name?
also what you call it, she was in some other stuff though. She acted too before.
Right. So she has other
Yeah,
media that she's been
yeah,
attached
she
to.
was. I
But
think. I'm gonna look it up.
but
I
my
remember
point being though
I
is
saw
that
something that she was doing some acting
Shotzi,
stuff.
okay, so Shotzi Blackheart had a whole movie career outside of wrestling. Is she an influencer? No, she's a wrestler. Like that's what we know her as. That's what she was known as. Like so to me, I'm just like, yo, she's like it doesn't compute to me, right?
ITV2 wrestling comedy miniseries DP and a horror a short horror comedy film. Granny DJ.
But I look at someone like would Bad Bunny be considered an influencer? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yes, I would consider him. Yeah,
for what? He was a rapper. You know what I mean? Like
but he
he has
transcends
another thing
rap
that
though.
he's done
He
first. What?
transcends rap.
But my point still stands as that he was this person and then crossed over. Like he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like when you look at Logan Paul is a social media influencer. That's what he did. It wasn't that he did something else. If Mr. Beast got involved with pro wrestling, Mr. Beast is a social media influencer. That's where he got his fame. If Kim Kardashian got involved with pro wrestling, I think she did Raw one time. She was like the general manager. I would consider her to be an influencer because that's what she did. But again, Mariah May, and when you look at like Bad Bunny, you see all these who are going there and they put in the work and they grind, right? And they're building up. I would never include like Ben Bishop, right? Big Turbo Ben Bishop. Let's talk about it. It's Men's Mental Health Month, by the way. So support. But he is a wrestler who also does social media, and he's an influencer. But I would never consider Ben Bishop a social media guy, an influencer. He's a wrestler. So I think it's weird how like it goes around. I'm like, no, I don't agree. I don't agree that Mariah May is an influencer. I definitely say that she is a model who just happened to get into wrestling.
Huh.
So I
Okay.
don't think it's and to finish my point. It's not harming the business.
I tiptoe on this. I tiptoe. I tiptoe. I can't say it harm and I can't say it does good. Um, I will say this: most of the influencers that I've seen, I can name a couple, like Chris Davis is one of them, Brent Davis. Um, those two come to mind when I think of influencers turned wrestlers. Just because they're not on the big WWE stage yet, as far as wrestling concerned, but they're on the higher up indie shows like your DPWs, your OVWs. Um, I will say that it does hurt to an extent because for some of these guys who are becoming wrestlers who don't have that influencer backing as far as like clout and fandom, it can be a little harder for up and coming wrestlers to get that shine in those designated areas that these influencers are working. Now, on the flip side, is it good? Yes, because we're getting more eyes on wrestling. We've said it now. Wrestling's in a boom period. It's in this renaissance period where wrestling is cool again. Everyone's talking about wrestling, so I think it is a good thing. But also, it comes back to the thing of oversaturation. With okay, now there's too much wrestling, and it's like oversaturation is a thing. So I don't think it does harm, nor does it do any good. Um, but I do think we need to, as far as the wrestling community and as far as wrestlers, we do need to start gatekeeping more. Um,
No,
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
no, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No,
Because everybody thinks that they can just be a wrestler, and it's not that just so
let
simple.
them. Let them.
No, no,
Yes.
no, no,
Tell
that's
them. Get in
not.
the ring.
That's
Take
why
a
we have
bump. Listen,
that's why we have all these creeps and suckers in wrestling now. Because we didn't gatekeep. It's because oh somebody can
we
do a
had
little arm
creeps
drag
in
real nice.
wrestling.
No, we need to
We have
gatekeep
creeps in the
wrestling more.
wrestling business now. We have creeps in
Exactly,
the
because we
wrestling
didn't
business now.
gatekeep 10 years ago.
Whatever. No, get in the business. If you think that you can take a bump better than, I don't know, AJ Styles, get in and prove it. I don't
No,
give a
don't.
shit.
Just no.
Take the
Just
bump.
watch the
No,
TV. Just
no.
watch.
Try. Go out there and give it a go.
Whatever.
If I had that mentality where I was like, hey, you know what? Nah, man, I'm not gonna try because man, it's not for me. Like I would never got into it, bro. I literally took a chance on myself, and I was 30, 34, getting in the ring. I had no, to be fair, I could be honest. I probably had no business getting in, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna try this thing out. Go ahead. If you think you go and handle it, go ahead. But here's my problem, right? You said it yourself. It's not fair that these guys who have the social media influence, who built their social media platform, get these opportunities to go and wrestle in these other promotions that other people who haven't been in the business long enough to do it. We said it before. We said it years ago, Chaz, on the same program. If work your ass off, do it. Like if you think you deserve to have that spot, let's just, if you think that you've been in for 15, 16 plus years and you deserve a spot at GCW, at Game Changer Wrestling, put your ass out there. Put your app out there. Go ahead and knock on the door. See what happens. If you think that you belong in an E because you've been in the business for 3 years, put your app in. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're probably not going to hear anything. You might hear something. But don't go out of your way to say that because these guys work their ass off to build a social media platform that they don't deserve that either. Like they just cross over to the field and they bring in more eyes into their product. Guess what? They're gonna get that move. I get pissed at a lot of people who get opportunities that I feel like I deserve, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm not as popular as that person. It is what it is. I'm fine with that because I realize like if I'm supporting that person who is taking these steps and getting more eyes on fans in wrestling, then that means that there's an opportunity for me to get those eyes on me too. So we can't sit back here and demeanor people because we're like, well, you were just a social media guy. You don't really know what it's like to be in the business. Fuck off, man. They're in the business. Let them
Exactly.
fucking hang
Not
and bang.
doing
And if
for
they can't hang and bang, it is what it is.
the
But don't go out of your neck to
you
be
know.
like, you don't deserve it. There's guys like in Virginia right now. I'm going to throw his name out there. He knows. He doesn't even know I exist. Lou Nonsense. Y'all don't even know who this guy is. But I bet if you went on Instagram, you typed in Lou and you went out there and looked for themes that wrestlers worry about for obvious reasons. Y'all would laugh your ass off at his content, but he's a wrestler. In fact, he worked Robbie Wayne, who's a friend of ours. We brought him on the podcast. Like, this is the problem that I'm having is like this aspect that we have to gatekeep this. What are we? Are we in the Star Wars community? Are we that big of a nerd that we have to be like, no, if you don't know who wrestled in the 1992 Royal Rumble at the 17th spot, you can't be in here.
Well,
Stop.
I'll just say this though: if you don't know who D'Lo Brown is, we got problems.
Now, my problem is the fact that
If
we
you
should.
don't know, if I tell you Sky
we
High.
have
What's that, brother?
we
D'Lo
have a
Brown movie.
problem. We
Who's
have a
D'Lo
problem
Brown?
with people
No, we
thinking
have
that
a
we need to
problem.
gatekeep something. Listen,
We
the
have
rest
a
of everybody,
problem. If
we're
I
over
if
here.
I come to you to give her to give you a specific spot, a specific move, and you tell me what's that? No, bro. No. Goodbye.
Okay, well that's you, unfortunately.
Goodbye.
But I'm like, you think about it like this. We're over here telling people,
You
listen,
don't know
how many
Sky
people?
High
Hey,
what, brother? And how
listen,
many
let's be
matches?
real.
And you want what?
Let's keep it. Let's just say this: 13 million people watching pro wrestling. Let's just put that out there. What was the number for WrestleMania?
Oh, I
We
don't know.
want to shoot.
Ridiculous.
What's ridiculous? We want to say 100 million
20
people.
million people.
Let's go. Okay. I was even going higher than that. 20 million people. Do you know how many people live in the world? 8 billion. You know how many people look back at us and were like, "You still watch pro wrestling?" And we're like, "No, don't take away my precious. Stop it. Stop it. We're not that person. We're not that people. We cannot be that. We have to literally tell these people, hey, yo, come on in, give it a shot." Mia Khalifa learned that lesson real hard when Thunder Rosa chopped her up right in the chest and made her take bumps. When she's like, hey, you know what? I don't like pro wrestling. She said all that dumbass noise. And instead of saying no, right, Thunder Rosa brought her in, gave her showed her how to do a couple bumps, gave her a helmet, right, because she was like, protect your skull, and then gave her a couple chops. And then, you know what? She was like, hey, you know what? This is kind of all right. Like, I still don't really fuck with it, but I got a lot more respect for it. And that's what that's what we need. But we don't need to sit back here and be like, nah, you got your popularity by doing Instagram reels. No, you can't hang with us. Because they're looking at us like, hey, me and my 20 million people who follow us think you guys are fucking nerds. And I'm like, yeah, I think we're fucking nerds too, because that guy said that you shouldn't be in the business. Like, stop it.
Go to the comments.
Yo, fuck out of here with that. If they did come into business respectfully and genuinely want to learn and respect the work, I don't see an issue with it for it. I don't either. Then again, there's Pat Patterson. As far as creepos, Mr. Golden is effing hilarious. He absolutely is.
He is.
The question is, how do wrestlers that have been around for a long time, paid their dues, feel about these influencers? I'm pretty sure that they're going, hey, you know what? We gonna make some fucking money, because they don't care. If you're at the E, you're at AEW, or you're at TNA or New Japan, you're like, hey, we about to make some money. Bailey versus Kim in that ass match. Who was it that used to say, don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch? There's a few people who said it.
I've
Simon
heard
Gotch.
it's funny. I don't know who said it. I've heard so many people over the
I've heard
years.
so many people say it.
Yeah,
But
I hear all the old heads say it.
yeah, I do hear a lot of old people, and I know Simon Gotch said it about another wrestler. If you don't know, you can look it up yourself. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Oh
Fred,
yeah, he was talking about Enzo.
I was gonna say it, but I'm glad you did.
I don't care. You know, I don't care. Let these people.
Fred versus
I
Brittany
like
Own
this in
guy.
front of them in these shows too.
He's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people. But yeah, it's just it goes back to, man, like, listen, like, it's pro wrestling, man. We literally watch Cain Velasquez have one match in pro wrestling with Brock Lesnar and never show up again. You know what I mean? Like, and this people gotta stop, man. But they bring over a bigger audience, and that's ultimately what people want. You want more eyes on a product, but you want to gatekeep who gets to watch. That's crazy. With
No,
that
I don't want
mentality,
to gatekeep who watches. I want to gatekeep who actually comes in the business. I don't. Yeah. I want
but
to gatekeep who's actually getting in the business. I don't want
but
to
okay,
gatekeep
so
who
let's
watch.
play it out. That means that if you was in, would you have let Logan Paul get in?
Probably. I probably still would. He was doing the fight with
Dog, lie to everybody else. Don't lie to the fans. Don't lie to everybody here.
I'm not. No, I'm not lying. I'm being serious
You lying in front of the
because
Lord,
of the
man.
fights
Don't do
with
that.
Connor, and he was doing all this exhibition stuff. I probably still was. Yeah.
No, you'd have been
Yeah.
like, he has the Japan thing. We're not gonna let him in.
I still don't know what the heck happened for that. I still don't know what that whole thing is.
Oh,
So people say
I'm-
I see it all the time, and I just don't care enough to look it up because I didn't. I never
so do you
cared.
have
I
a
never
problem? Okay,
cared
let me
for.
ask the question. Actually, Mr. Golden actually put in a thing here. I'm gonna put this up. Okay, real quick. you have a problem with I Show Speed?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't like. I don't watch. The only person I watch out of these little streamer dudes is Kai Cenat. He's funny.
Did you have a problem with Kai being at the Royal Rumble?
Well, he didn't do anything.
Didn't ask that question. That's not what I asked.
Did I have a problem with him? No.
No, do you have a problem with him being at the Rumble? That's my question.
Being at it? No.
Okay, so he's at the Rumble, but he's backstage.
Okay.
So
he's not in the ring. He's not working.
But Kai Cenat, who also is just a massive streamer, right, is in the ring. We got a problem?
He was not working a match.
Doesn't change what I said.
That's what
He's
my
in the
point
Rumble.
is him
He's
working
in the
a
Rumble.
match.
He's in the Rumble. Did you have a problem with?
No.
Did you have a problem with?
I Show Speed when he got speared.
Yes.
I Show. Yeah, that's first of all, that was funny. That's also stupid. Wait, yes, I think it was funny, entertaining, but stupid.
But think about how many eyes like got brought over to the WWE.
I get that. I get that. I
That's the point.
understand that point.
We making money.
I'm not debating that. Yes, I get that. You're bringing the eyes. I'm all for that. I understand that. We still can gatekeep.
We had no problem. Like we had a problem. Okay, remember
we had a problem with Snooki.
We had a problem with Snooki until she showed up at WrestleMania, and then we were all like, "Hey, yo, she tearing it up." What about Ken Jeong? Ken Jeong had that whole spot where he jumped off the top rope onto John Cena. John Cena threw him over the top rope.
He's an actor. He's not.
Yo, I'm done, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like, do we have a problem? Okay, here's one. You have a problem with Travis Scott?
He's not an influencer. He's a rapper.
Yeah, I hate this man.
He's a celebrity, not an influencer.
Oh my god. Okay, but the man is still bringing eyes over to the product. I guess that's at the end of the day. That's where I'm going to be at. If you're bringing eyes to the product, bring eyes to the product. I don't care. Bring eyes to the product. I like it.
All right, real quick. Let's go to our last topic. I think I'm gonna be nice to you all. I'm gonna drop footage at the end of the show since you all made it here in Twitch and things aren't here. All right, that's our last debate topic. Be talking about it. Look, this has been one of the greatest rivalries of this generation. All right, despite how people's personal feelings toward the wrestlers involved, but this is one of the premier rivalries of this generation. So AEW is planning to run back Omega versus Okada at All In Texas. All right, is this instant classic or recycle rivalry? Are we still invested or are we ready to move on? All right, what about you, Cliff? What do you got? You start this one. We know what I'm going to say.
I think everybody's going to be excited about this match. I'm going to be fair. I think it's just kind of recycled. Like they're grasping at straws to bring in more ratings, which I don't knock them for doing that. But it's like at the end of the day, man, like if you're gonna want to watch these guys work, you're gonna go back and watch all the stuff they talk about from New Japan. Because guess what they're gonna talk about on AEW? They're not gonna talk about how this is a premier. They're gonna be like, this is a premier matchup. They're not gonna talk about, oh man, did you see that 6-man tag that Kenny Omega and Okada did? No, they're gonna talk about the stuff they did at New Japan. So you go watch the stuff at New Japan. That's why, because that's why we got invested into them. So I think for me, if you want to put this match on a bigger stage, I understand why you want to do that, but I don't think it gets any bigger than the Tokyo Dome outside of like WrestleMania. So I think to me, it's kind of recycled, bro. It is what it is.
That bad man is about to go one-on-one, okay, with the wrestling magician that is Kenny Omega. Okay, we're doing it again because when those two masterminds of professional wrestling get together, it is magic. Okay, is it recycled rivalry? Yes. Who cares? Who cares?
We're not even putting for the biggest title.
Exactly. It's not. That's my point. That's exactly where I was about to go. It's not even for the AEW championship. This match really, as much as the fan in me who loves the Okada and Kenny Omega matches, those are the matches that really define my pro wrestling fandom as a old teenager, young adult. Like I'm all for this as a fan, but let's be real, like you said, Cliff. It's not even for the biggest title. It's for the mid card belt, which is cool. You'll give that some, the title some prestige, having that, that matchup being for it, cool. But let's be for real. All in is looking not looking real all inish. It's looking real backlash. WrestleMania backlash is what it's looking like. It's looking real mid. It's not. It doesn't feel like their big show of the year. They're going to get 20 minutes in this 6-hour pay-per-view. They're going to get 20 minutes. We're going to probably see half of what we saw previously in their old matches. And then we're just going to see a bunch of false finishes. I don't think this match is going to be anywhere close to as good as any of their previous matches in New Japan. I just don't think. Kenny's a little, age is a thing. Kenny's a little bit slower. He's a little bit slower. He's still dealing with, his thing, the
Tuberculitis.
yeah. So he's a little bit slower, and there's, if you notice, Kenny's changed his style a little bit. So to compensate, which is that's what you're supposed to do. I just do not see them having creating lightning twice or catching lightning twice in a bottle, whatever that phrase is. I just don't see it happening. These two, as great as they are, and they're still great, are not the same two competitors as they were then. They don't even work the same anymore. Like at all. So, and I can be proven wrong. They look in a couple weeks, right? They'll go out there and they'll probably have look. Meltzer will probably give it nine stars this time, just cause I could be wrong, but being someone who watches Okada weekly, who watches Kenny weekly, and who watched them in New Japan, I just don't see this. Like, are we invested? We'll be invested because of the name. Is Kenny Omega versus Okada? You're gonna automatic. That's like saying John Cena versus Randy Orton. No matter what era, you're going to be invested just off the name.
Yeah.
But two things can be true. Can we still be invested? Yes. And can we still be ready to move the heck on from this? Yes.
Also, yes.
Yes. So the big question was, are we invested or are we ready to move on? It's both. It really is both. We can be invested. I'm invested. I'm all for it. When they announced it, I put in the group chat, inject this in my veins. Like, I'm all like, it doesn't matter. Like, what era you get it. It's Kenny Omega and it's Okada. So you're going to be invested, but we got to move on. And it's overdone. It's overdone, especially, and it's too recently overdone.
Yep.
Whereas, like, and I know I use the Orton and Cena as like another as a comparison. We got that recently, but it's been like what 7 years, 8 years, in a sense. So since that last one-on-one match, but yeah, it's time to move on. It definitely is.
Yeah. Well, remember, and we can't be all hyped up, right? Because everybody was looking forward to when AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura had their match at WrestleMania, and they were talking about how great it was at Wrestle Kingdom, and they're like, "It's gonna be amazing," and
Being one of those persons.
yeah, it wasn't.
Like how like, yeah, I'm about to get my New Japan in the WWE, and I got WWE in New Japan. That's what it was.
Yep. So it was what it was.
New Japan characters in the in the WWE.
Yep. And then, so I mean, I know AEW is gonna let them kind of like they're gonna loosen up the reins and let them run their match the way they want to run it, but I'm still gonna say, man, like it's just gonna be okay. Like, is it gonna get 6.5 stars from Meltzer? Probably, but who cares? Like, That man, literally, I just watched him tweet out something earlier today, something about how many 5-star matches certain matches have at TNA or something like that. And I was like, no one cares about your rating system. Sorry, that was off track. But I also think that this is a recycle, and I'm ready to kind of move on from Kenny and Okada and just let them kind of do their thing. Now, I will want to see like Okada and Will Ospreay run it back. I'll always be down for that, especially right now.
Facts.
5 years from now, probably not.
All right, go to the comments, see what they say.
All
If
right.
you haven't done so, folks, make sure you go like and vote on who should be Dumbass of the Week. Once we get to the comments, we're going to.
David Arquette
Yeah.
was WCW champion.
And that was one of the worst things they did.
Right. And then he came back as a pro wrestler and, was doing things, but also got messed up in the process. There was nothing positive about Travis Scott's appearances. That's not entirely true. You're talking about him. So that's what I think. Whether you love him or hate him, as long as you're spreading his name and his brand, that's all that business cares about.
All right. Let's go on over. If you haven't done so, folks, this is your last opportunity. Go vote for who should be Damien's Dumbass of the Week. All right. TKO, Damien Fatal, Twitch, and the IWC. They are the nominees for Dumbass of the Week. And let's see here. 100% of the vote goes to TKO.
Jeez.
100% of the vote. So, TKO, you have won. That's 2 weeks in a row, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won it last week, too.
Can't be messing up.
TKO, you are officially the Dumbass of the Week. Be prepared for your trophy on Twitter this week. Dumbass of the Week. Other than that, all right. I said I was going to be nice, and I'm going to do it. Cliff, but if you look in layers, I think, oh no, there it is. I think I got it. I'm dropping footage, unreleased footage. This is SWA footage. I might get fired for dropping this footage, but it's footage. I think I hope everyone can hear me.
It's fine. It's fine.
A toast to 5 years of pure ignorance, 5 years of kicking ass, 5 years of changing the status quo, 5 years of just taking over the DMV.
Exactly.
All right, look, Showcase Division champion, EWA Tag Team champion,
What else?
SWA Tag Team champion. You know what it is. So look, to reclaiming the throne.
I waited an entire year to claim the throne. And now I'm finally the prince of the people.
5 years. 5 years of the greatest team alive doing exactly what they said they was going to do. Dominate. Me and my boy Chaz are the SWA tag champs, while my boy Prince reigns as your SWA Showcase Division champion. Cause hello? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Yo. Oh, bro, slow down. What's going on? Huh? What? Okay. Alright, I'll see you soon. Alright. Where's Chris? He isn't coming. What's going on? Yeah. I got some news. Damien's back.
You know what?
let Damien come, alright? And if Damien wants a war, then he knows where to find his brothers. Other than that, stuffing season.
Oh, yeah,
Good. Good.
my guns. Oh, that's the one I got down. I was trying to look. I was like, what are we talking about? All right.
All right. There you go. Sneak peek, sneak preview. Yeah. So if you haven't bought your ticket for SWA, you probably do that now because all the chat friends is gonna be there. All right, if you haven't done so, make sure to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Chaz and Friends. All right, I'm Chaz. That's my friend Red Dog. And if you, well, you can watch that episode, but if not, I'll see you Saturday. And so will the rest of Pure Ignorance.
And Red Dog. Quay.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. If you like this and you want more 3 Count Podcasts, go on over to our YouTube page, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you never miss when we put out a video. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, all things social media, 3 Count Pod, _ on X, 3 Count Pod, everything else. Also, make sure you buy our merch at foryourwear.com and prowrestlingtees.com. Also, you know what? Just watch another video right now. Like, right now, I'm going to walk away and you're going to play another video. Now.